What happened last time?
Let's see. Last time we made it to the. I gotta find my notes now, but to remember all the names, we got to the We were in the Hobbit village. We did some kind of getting to know the local community. We was it George? Was that the hunter we met? Let's see. We met Eric the Shirey. We got Nob was showing us around, and we kind of met some of the other community, including Ingrid the apothecary, who pointed us in the direction of the witch, who we eventually got her name is Vivian, I believe. We went to the Hunter's Lodge, cheered George up. Hopefully, made some friends there. Then we saw Vivian while at the witch's hut in the woods. We did not get tricked by the Nixies in the pond that claimed we had to give them our weapons. We did not fall for that, and in fact, Vivian told them to scram, and we managed to get some loot out of that pond. On the way back, we ran into some. Well, we had our goods stolen by brownies or something, some sort of fey tricky types in the woods stole some loot from us, and but we made it back into town, where at the the Clumsy Fox Tavern, I believe. It was Bentley the bartender there, which seemed to be the popular tavern in town in Brandonsford and Brandsonford. I'm sorry, Brandonsford. Found out that's the popular one. Quinn at the Golden Egg, I believe, something like that, was down on his luck after some of the trade routes went bad, and he didn't get some of the supplies for his booze, and his business was suffering. He may have hired some shady individuals. Who was it? Ned and Squints, who we saw during some of the festivities. Were kind of keeping apart. They were not so well off hobbits, looking a little more poorly dressed and maybe not so well to do. I remember mostly because Ratbite snuck. They left the festivities a little bit. Ratbite followed them to where they met some guy at some sort of hovel near town or something. Some gangly old man hobbit. What was it? Bisco Gabsby or something? Anyway, they were up to some shady business. We didn't quite figure out what, but they were talking to somebody, maybe related to that business, stealing stuff to help out Quinn at the Golden Egg. Maybe not. Maybe some more investigating to do on that. Rotrude was the uppity. Was it the mothers of Brand or something? And we met O'Farah, who was a gardener, and generally, I think that did I miss anything?
It sounds like you got more notes than me. I don't, I don't remember two of them. But I believe you. Yeah. And that is true. I think basically there's the Shire, there's a fall festival going on, and there's a ton of stuff going on. And hobbits you found have been kind of like the Godfather. They just just suck you back in. Like they're just like they suck you into their fussiness and their little codependencies, and they want you, if you're going to be around, you're going to get into all that kind of stuff. But the woods are full of fairies, and something bad is going on, and you know that because of the hunters, all of which are gone except George. And I have from last time that and I want to emphasize that you can do anything you want to do in Brandonsford or in the environs around Brandonsford. But I've got that you were going to go explore the Matham house, try to figure out about this magic sword that you heard from Nob Boulderhill, who brought you here, who's like a true believer and believes that you're like the successors of Saint Brandon himself. You were going to consider interviewing Ned and Squints, the two kind of like shifty-looking hobbits in the tavern, and checking out the tree sap wine west of the river that Vivian talked about. That being said, do whatever you want around Brandonsford, and that is where we're starting. You wake up and you hear a scuffling, and then outside there is also a ton of activity as the day begins in Brandonsford. Because it's the fall festival, people are setting up stalls, and there's all kinds of different events, and the taverns are full, and many people are taking a break from their labors, which comes at a really bad time. Excuse me. But Eric has the bounders that he has, and the people that he has, and everybody's like really set on the fall festival instead of trying to figure out how these people got killed, and they seem kind of oblivious, like they don't really know what's going on. You hear all that activity outside, and then you hear a going on outside the door of the chapel that you've been sleeping on the floor of, that is the House of Brandon.
I'm gonna snap to and do my best to stealthily investigate.
All right. How do you do it?
Well, I mean, quickness. If I hope to find or see whatever it is, first of all, can I discern whether or not it's like the sound of an animal, like wings flapping, or would I recognize it as such?
It sounds like something skittering on the ground outside.
Okay, well, yeah. So in that case, I'm going to quickly just jump out of bed and sort of, try as my best to stealthily dart across the floor and go outside to check what it is.
Make a dexterity attribute check.
I rolled a 15.
Is that under your dexterity? Or equal to?
It is not under it. No.
Okay. You try to, you get out of bed and you start to, you notice, first of all, that Talon is not here. He's gone. However, Ratbite, Ben, and Bashaw are still here. And
is his stuff here?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, and you get up and you quickly try to get outside and see what's going on. You look around, staying close to the building, going around out in the shadows and the grass. It looks like probably people don't see you, that are, or don't care or don't notice, from that are setting up for the festival. And then you don't see anything, but then you hear a voice inside of the building that's that says, "Eric wants to see you." It wakes everybody up. And Bashaw and Ben, you see this really kind of tiny hobbit with giant eyes that is standing there with his bounder's sash and hat on with a feather.
Kind of roll over quickly in bed with like a dagger out, and then kind of go, ah.
He looks cross-eyed at the dagger, like at the tip of it when you bring it out.
Yes, that's right. These are the peaceful hobbit dwellings, not the city underhive.
I'm not used to anything else.
Yes. Well,
so you are?
I'm Hartmut! And he scoots off and back toward the town hall.
Heartbutt? That's the same skittering sound that we heard before, or a different one?
Yeah, you're pretty sure it's the same sound.
Okay. So he's a scrawny hobbit with big eyes.
He's a tiny hobbit. He's probably 2.5 feet tall, and he has giant big eyes bulging out of his head. His little hobbit head.
Got you.
Well, let us get dressed properly, and we'll be right along.
All right. You are going to the town hall first, or do you go somewhere else first?
Well, it seems like it would be impolite not to come when called for. If I mean, is he the boss of the sheriffs or something? The Reeves?
Eric is the Shire Reeve that you spoke to.
Yeah, he's the Reeves. So, well, then, yeah, we should probably go and see what he wants.
All right. You get your little bounder scarf and your tiny little feathered hat, and all of your papers and gear, and
Which, again, I'm using as a brooch.
right. And you, it's not a long walk to get to the town hall. You have to like really duck, really low to get inside of it, and then kind of have to stay hobbled over while you're inside of the town hall. There are all sorts of people here that are doing different things. There's an old male hobbit with white hair. There's a female hobbit that's trying to get the attention of Eric. Eric is this portly hobbit that's also older with white-haired feet and white-haired head. He's got bags under his eyes. He looks really stressed out, and he's trying to kind of placate this woman who's not Rortrude. It's someone else. Meanwhile, bounders are coming in and out and stuff, and he sees you and motions you over.
You called?
Oh, my deputies, listen. Things just keep getting worse around here. Look, you're here, so I assume that you went and spoke with the witch. Is she gone? Are the fairies gone?
No and no.
Can't. Yeah.
Well, then what are you doing here?
I don't. Did
Your
y'all
problem.
say y'all wanted to get rid of the witch? Because I don't think she's bothering anybody. In fact, you're probably better off having her around.
Yeah, she's keeping those fairies in check.
Oh, dear. Big people are so complicated.
Well, we agree.
Well, what's causing these things then?
Here, step into our office.
Shift slightly.
Yeah, what do you mean? Where do you go?
Just over into some kind of corner
Right.
where we can kneel down and whisper in his ear.
Right. Okay, so nosy hobbits in here. That's probably a good idea. He does so. He shifts over to a corner with you all towering over him, and he shoos everyone away, and he tells the bounders to try to tells this woman that they'll speak with her later, and they'll set everything right about something, and then and you seem to have some measure of privacy if you spoke quietly.
There's no easy way to say this. It seems as though we're dealing with a dragon.
Yeah, you may recall George. Is George still? Was he missing an arm? Did I remember that right?
Yeah, he's missing an arm.
Yeah. You know that thing that ate George's arm? That weren't no bear.
He slumps down into a chair and just stares off into space. He's like, "These bounders aren't no match for a dragon."
A dragon tainted by evil magic. For
That's
which we have to find a
that's
special
even
tool.
worse than a dragon.
who's wrestled up all of the goblins in the area and is preventing the dwarves from coming through with their iron.
The matronly House of Good Manners is going to kill me for this.
Well, it's not your fault.
Yeah, but they'll say it is. I'm the Shire Reeve. They blame everything on me.
Well, they are the least of your problems, my friend.
Well, look. You look like if anybody around here could deal with something like this. I'm desperate. I can't get the Bounders to do anything during the fall festival. So, I'll give you everything in our coffers. I've got something that the others don't know about that we've kept here as a secret for a long time. And you can't tell anybody.
Group huddle.
Secret's safe with me, Huddle.
Absolutely.
I know big people like this, so from long ago, each Shire Reeve has passed this secret on to the next. I have some of the treasure that Brandon brought back. It's been no use to us, and we've kept it locked up here. But I'll give you all of it. It's 1,000 gold pieces of coins minted back in the days of when Brandon was here, Sir Brandon, in the days of the old human empire.
Well, let's talk about that if and when the job is done, my friend.
Don't suppose there's anything you heard anything about, like, I don't know, did you have a sword that's in this treasure or anything that might... You heard the stories from...
Yes, good point.
Nope, it's
a magic sword or something?
What
If
we
you
have
that'd
is
be best.
we've got a chest, and as I understand it, there are 1,000 minted gold pieces from the Kingdom of Light from over 800 years ago. But so you're saying that you'll do it? You'll get rid of the dragon and the fairies and the goblins?
Let's just concentrate on the dragon.
An effort will be made.
Well, if you succeed, you have my word. He reaches out his hand to shake your hand, Edward.
Yeah.
You did that character, Ben.
Yeah.
Too late, bad guy.
I let that play out fully before extending my hand finally and figuring out everything. And yes, now there are many lines of inquiry to pursue, and I hope you understand. I understand the need is urgent, but we must be truthful. I can't speak for my fellows here, but I, for one, am terrified. But it does seem as though we're meant to be here, and if not for this purpose, then what?
This kind of like grandiose human talk makes him feel even worse, and he looks faint, and he takes out a hanky and starts wiping the perspiration off of his brow.
If it's any consolation, the gold is enough for me. But I mean, these other things are great too. So if you want to keep it simple, if that helps.
He looks dizzy a little bit, but he's like, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot of other matters to attend to.
Okay, good luck with the festival.
If we can think of anything that might help us on our quest to defeat this dragon for you, we may let you know. But I mean, you've been great so far. But just if we think of anything else that you can help us with, by all means, we'll let you know.
He looks out again, like has that vacant stare, and then he sees this like really fussy looking woman, female hobbit, still waiting for an answer on something, and he forces a smile, and he straightens out his what do you call those things?
Waistcoat?
A waistcoat, thank you. He straightens out his waistcoat. Yep. And it doesn't do anything because it slides right back up his belly, and he waddles over to this woman with a forced smile.
Well, gentlemen, I'm at a loss.
We need to find a sword.
Yeah, we could. Knob over at the Matham house might have had more. I mean, whether any of this useful or not, who knows? But he did say he had at least some stories or something, right?
Yes, and I am thinking we may need to visit the apothecary. I don't know.
She may think she know about that wine sap or whatever that was. Maybe she can help us with
Yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right.
All right.
Matham
Can I
house?
roll for lore on black dragons?
Well, yeah, you have a lore die, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 in 6 chance.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, rolled a 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Hasn't helped me once yet, but
I think probably what you could apply to that is whatever kind of understanding you have of dragons, you, Chris, from that era of England, like the popular
Okay.
depictions in art and stories. Probably St. George comes to mind, and yeah, that's probably about as much as you would know.
okay. Still terrified.
Perhaps you don't remember because nobody's lived to tell the tale.
Well, let's start with what we can do. Go and deal with these town issues so that at least we can earn the trust and gratitude of these people, doing things that actually matter to them. Because I think that will serve us well going forward. We can get them on our side. They may be willing to do more or be capable of more than even they're aware of. So, to that end, what of these two rascals?
Yeah, what's it? Ned and Squint.
Yeah, that is quick.
When I get so it's still kind of early. Do we maybe? Is there any? Do we want to go bug them and see if they're what they're up to? Or do we even know where they would stay? There was also the gangly old hobbit there that they were speaking with. I got his name, Bosco. I can't. Maybe ask around there. I don't know.
Cool.
So Ned and Squints, and then also we may have some leads for the magic sword at the Matham house, right?
Oh yes, let's go speak to Knob.
In the Matham, or is that was
Yeah, Matham House.
his master that he's apprenticing with might know more.
Okay. Asking for some directions, you're able to make your way. Also, there's the wooden signpost at the center of town, and you make your way over to the edge near the wall, where there's a large daub hobbit structure, probably 2 stories, and let's see. Oops. When you knock on the door, it is in fact opened by Knob Boulderhill. And Knob's like, My friends, it's good to see you again. I can't. And he's like, has an apron on and is kind of covered in dust and stuff. He's like, I can't really speak right now. And then you hear a voice behind him that's like, "No, Boulder Hill! The papers, please!" And he's like, "I'm sorry. If you want to speak with William, he's in a mood." And then, like, he just leaves the door cracked, and you just see a crack in this door leading into this place. And then he shuffles off, and you hear somebody moving stuff around and working, and yeah.
Maybe we should come back when he's in his cups.
Or maybe we should speak to this William fellow. He's in charge of the Matham house, is he?
This is the Matham house.
Right. And William's in charge?
You've heard mention of William once. You heard that actually Eric and Rotrude claimed that they would be having a talk with William regarding Knob, bringing outsiders in.
Let's get him in trouble.
Yep.
Let's go. He didn't say not to try speaking to him. He just said he's in a mood.
All right. Bashaw just kind of slowly opens the door with his foot and waltzes in.
You open, and it's a candle and lamp lit in here, and it's just like 2 levels that go up a little bit above your head, which would be 2 hobbit levels of just stacks of papers and scrolls and books, and chests of different objects, and a menagerie of all sorts of just random stuff. And there's a person with a big droopy frown and a gray beard that comes down to his waist, and he's sitting, and you hear snoring, and then he startles as you creak the door open. He's like, "Oh, yes, I'll have that tea, please. That one, yes." And he goes back to sleep, and he starts sleeping again. And meanwhile, Knob is working. Oh no,
Is there actual tea nearby?
So, Knob, where can we get some tea?
There's no tea nearby, in fact.
So this is the mood you were talking about? Asleep?
Bashaw helps himself and goes into the kitchen and starts making tea.
Nice. In response to Edward, Knob shrugs nervously, and then it startles William awake again. He's like, "Oh, hi, are you dwarves?"
No.
He puts spectacles on. "Big people? Oh, it's those kind of people. I mean, welcome."
You mean heroes of Brandon?
Oh, heroes. Oh.
Worst kind, huh?
Well, this is a remarkable place you have here, William, if I may say so.
Oh, of course it is.
Yes, it is. Why, you have the largest collection of books and scrolls that I've seen ever in my travels through these lands.
Oh. And where do you come from?
Oh, far, far away. But I come from a place where books and scrolls are appreciated by the wise, and the wise, those who wish to be wise, keep them to hand.
You come from Damarung, then?
Well, it's not nearly so poetic to say it that way, but, if you will.
Oh, I don't have any tax money.
Oh, no. No, I don't work for, no, don't worry about that. It's enough just to be able to lay eyes on such a collection.
Oh! I'll give you, what's your charisma modifier?
+1.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just enough. Okay, so he says, "Oh, yes, in fact, I keep the records of the hobbits all across Griff's Vale, almost as far as the evening lands go." And he hobbles over to one of the shelves and starts calling out names and dates and peculiarities. So and so bought a winery, and that kept the wine stocked in portions of the evening lands, at least for the hobbits, back some 300 years ago. And he just goes on like that.
Yes, that's exactly the kind of information I was looking for. You know what else I find curious, and I'm curious about, I should say, is this character I've heard of, Brandon of Brandonsford. I suppose he's the name behind it. What can you tell me, or what do you have relating to him?
He slammed shut something he was looking at, and he says, "Oh, yes, Sir Brandon, the big person. I suppose a big person might take interest in big people things. Those kinds of people. Oh,
Yes.
The wine country's far more interesting, but, yes, I have...
Oh, I agree. It's just I actually was sent here for a purpose, and I would hate to have to go back and tell those that are expecting things of me that I was unable to find anything. And I feel like you're obviously the man to go to if there's anything to find.
Oh, that is incredibly bothersome. I sympathize. We could have looked at the barley records from 20 years ago. They had a boom back then, but I understand. And he hobbles over and takes a key and undoes a lock and a chain in a section and brings out something that does not look hobbitish in character. It looks like some sacred text. And he brings out another portfolio of scrolls and vellum, and he says, "These are the records from the town's founding some now 900 years ago. Is Sir Brandon, the big person. He was real, a matter of historical fact. His supposed big person adventures, I don't know if those were real, but I've already got a man on the job. I sent Dirk, my senior assistant, up to the Barrow Mound to find any other records. The Reeve had me send him."
How long has he been away?
And he looks over at Nob, and Nob is like, "That'd be about 2 weeks, sir." "Oh, 2 weeks!"
2 weeks?
"Oh, yes."
That's a long time, William.
"Oh, I suppose that is a while." And he looks over at Nob, and Nob just shrugs nervously.
Would you like us to go and look for him?
"Well, yes, I would not like to lose my senior assistant. He's an order better than my junior one." And looks over at Nob, and Nob just cowers.
Well, not to mention the, I'm sure, prodigious records he may have uncovered. I mean, what a loss that would be. I mean...
"Oh, I think it's a fool's errand, but I had to do it. You understand." And he nods toward Edward, "It's a matter of business. I had to do it." So, yes, it occurs to me the woods are full of goblins armed with knives. It may not have been a good idea to send him up there. Come to think of it. And he strokes his beard.
Now, you say you had to do it. Why did you feel you had to?
Eric, the Shire Reeve.
Oh, yes, he told you to do it.
Wanted as much information as we could get. Said that this wasn't enough. It's true, we don't have much information. The big people aren't so great as we are about keeping records.
May we glance at these?
Oh, yeah, of course. Very well. He dodders off.
Okay. All right. Let's have a look.
Let's see here. One is a kind of like clearly some kind of sacred text. In fact, this is a book of the lives of the saints of the Old Kingdom, is what it's called. It's written in a very what's the word I'm looking for? A old version of the common language, and it says a holy book. Its pages are decorated with elaborately painted clerical art in gold leaf. It's illumined. It's filled with stories of saints and their triumphs over the malicious fairies, fey beings, and stories of the saints basically overcoming them, and of knights and knightly orders. And then the vellum has there's only a few sheets, and it mentions some names and basically goes on a kind of like a eulogy, like I don't know, or a biography, not like a saint's life, but like a just something simpler. And it mentions a few names. Saint Muradin, who is said to be a man of hot temperament, quick to action. Sir Wilt, a man contemplative, who drew the sword reluctantly and with sorrow. Sir Alfred, and there the vellum is stained, and it doesn't actually say. And it has a note by a woman. Let me find this.
What was the first name?
Sir Myrdin. Myrdin is what it says.
Thank you.
This vellum letter is it expounds on the virtues of Sir Brandon. It is from one Maria, and it says, for Sir Brandon was the embodiment of those true virtues that are what a knight actually is, that is valor, piety, wisdom, and duty.
Wow. I'm suitably in awe. Staring at the beauty of the book, and maybe the first time I felt somehow connected to this world. That's a bit more. That's a world that I understand a bit more than everything else I've seen, both in this one and in the previous one. Because I'm 2 worlds deep at this point.
Yeah.
I guess we all are. So Nob's still in here with us. Are they both still in here with us in the same room? They're just in different spots.
Yeah, he went over back to sit, and he's since dozed off again, and then Nob is working feverishly to try to collect papers and dust things and do chores.
Okay.
So, anything about a sword?
I'm curious as to why
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah. I'll say that out loud.
Okay. What were you gonna
Sure Nob
say?
can hear me.
What were you saying, Bashaw?
I say I'm curious as to why Eric was looking into this stuff 2 weeks ago. That he's kind of been pretending not to know anything about or be annoyed at.
Nob scuffles over and he's like, listen, the sword, he says to Ben. It's said that it's kept in the tomb. The barrow mound.
Yeah. Where Dirk is, I'm sure, fine.
I suppose we should go collect a sword and secure. I look at Nob and secure your promotion.
Oh. And he looks over at the old man. He's like, I better get back to work. William's still sleeping.
It's dark times in Brandonsford.
He might want some tea when he wakes up.
Yeah, I put the tea down beside him.
Nob's like, oh, thank you. And then he takes the tea and he's like, Master William. And William's like, oh, Nob, tea, oh, thank you. Just as I asked. And Nob's like, oh, yes, just like you asked for.
Shaw grins and leaves.
Nice. Okay, where to next?
So, next expedition is to the Barrow Mounds, but I don't know if we're in a hurry, right? Do we want to see if we can find Ned and Squints?
Yeah, let's go see if we can round up that whole mystery.
Where do you go?
You said something about an old man, right, Ben?
Yeah, how about, let's see, I'll go to where I found them, the fields where I found them talking to the old man. I want to get a look around that area, see, if there's, so we think, was it something about maybe they were stealing barley or something? Was that it? I'm trying to remember. Somehow they were.
There was somebody in the tavern that like nodded over toward them as like probably the reason why that stuff was happening.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's see. There's this hovel with the gangly old man hobbit. Let's go snoop around there. What do you say?
Okay, on the opposite end of town, while the festival's going on and you can see people fussing over different things, as usual, but maybe bordering on a hoopla in a bad way, because you can tell that the produce for the fall festival is very sad and meager. There begins to kind of settle this sense of want and doom as you pass, although no one seems to be vocalizing it. You can hear a bunch of hobbits talking about things about this as you pass, and then when you get to the far end of town, you have the farms that are still on the near side of Brandon's wall that circles the Shire. The whole Shire is about an acre or so. It's a really huge wall as far as length of it. And you get to these farm fields, and you don't see Squints or Ned, but you do see the old man, or an old man they were talking to, hunched over and slowly working the field. It's just going to talk to a lot of old people today, it looks like. That's probably who's important in the Shire. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Respect their elders, yeah.
Yeah.
So are his fields looking pretty like pretty rough? Like the produce wasn't doing so good, or the fields looking pretty bare and not the best year for him?
Yeah, he does. It does look like it's not going well. Yeah.
I'm just trying to. What do we actually suspect them of before we start shaking people down?
I was just wondering the same thing.
Yeah, we said that they were doing something shady. It seems like, and they're known potential ne'er-do-wells. But as a potential ne'er-do-well, Ratbite doesn't want to judge them too harshly.
Yeah, I think it was. Let's see here.
We are wearing. Or is it Bounder uniforms or Reeve uniform? What are we wearing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're wearing the Bounder sash like it's a scarf because it won't fit around your unless you were like this while you were wearing it. But and then like as a brooch you have a little hat with a feather.
We have symbols of authority that are known, and we're certainly known of. So we could probably ask him just about anything we want, and say, it's Bounder business, which it is.
And what you're talking about, Lane, is well, like all my stuff fell off the desk now. I was trying to
vegetables. That's what it was.
Yeah, I have it here that basically you were in the Clumsy Fox Tavern and you were listening to somebody nearby, and they were talking to someone, and they said that a neighbor had pilfered vegetables from someone's garden. That they were a radish-stealing rascal. And they suspect that it is Ned and Squints.
Okay. Well,
who you saw talking to the gangly old man, yeah. But Ned and Squints are not here, yeah.
Yeah. It's wrong, but I almost feel like I want to take up for Ned and Squints if they got this bad reputation in town. But we also want to improve our reputation in town, so that's a bad idea. So
we just want to know what he was doing, talking to Ned and Squints out in the middle of the night.
Yeah, maybe we don't tell him that we know that he did that just yet. Let's keep.
I'll leave it to you. You're better with lowlives.
So we don't have. Let's see. Well, I guess we came all the way out here. Let's go. Let's talk to this guy. I'll be like, "Hey, how's the what you growing here? How's it going?"
This hobbit is unusually tall for a hobbit and gangly, and he despite being elderly, he stands and grabs hold of his mattock and. With both hands and smiles and yells out real loud, "Well, isn't that in a group of adventurers? It's been a long time since I've seen your kind around here."
So you have seen our kind around here?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Back a long time ago, we used to have more visitors around here. In fact, we used to have people come from as far away as Damarung, and they would come and they would collect the council's gold at the time, and there were groups of big people that they were fighting with one another. A big old war that used to be here. Why, my relatives, they got involved in that war because they sold some things to big people that fought in it.
When he starts talking really loud, Bashaw starts kind of looking around to see if he's trying to signal anybody.
You are confident that there's only one other person nearby, but it's another old man in a separate house that you can see through a window from a hobbit house.
People love to spy on their neighbors, yeah.
Yeah. And he says, "Yeah, well, so, but there's been big people, there have been dwarves that used to come through here. Why, they're our main source of trade, what we produce and buy and sell with and for. But even they haven't come by in weeks.
Yeah, here the trade's dried up. We're sad to hear that. We're new in town. Would love to get some trade with some dwarves going, but what you gonna do?
Absolutely.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
I'm gonna roll a... He's really gregarious, and he's just gonna keep going. Let me see what he says. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not gonna do that one. He says, well, yeah, anyways, I would offer you something to eat, but I've seemed to have had a garden problem. I think it's a dog. Well, I think there's been a dog that's been coming through here. Some mangy mutt's been digging up my vegetables. So I gotta be honest with you, I don't have much to offer these days, and I'm awfully sorry about that.
What you gonna do? I appreciate the would-be hospitality. If only you had the goods to give. I understand the offer is as good as if you had it, as far as I'm concerned. You mentioned your family used to give stuff that old people like, or big people like.
Yeah.
He's still going back to. What
Yeah.
would that be about?
Yeah, come to think of it, he trails off. He's like, I remember back in those days, why, they say there was a dire badger here. Twice as big as one of us. Used to dig right through the wall, come through and steal food.
Okay. So you're having trouble growing stuff right now, but there's no dire badgers now, correctly. But you said something about you hinted that your family used to sell something to big folk, but did I?
Yeah, when I was young, and he looks around, he's kind of sad for a moment. He's like, well, to be honest with you, stranger, things haven't been going well here lately for me. He starts to cry.
I hear that.
He looks over toward his farmhouse, and he sees there's a big a mule, which for a hobbit, this thing's big, but it's a mule. It's like, listen, stranger, I'm not doing too well, and the crop's not come in, and those two good boys, they tried to help me out, but it's not gonna work, and so I'll sell you my mule. I'll sell you Seamus.
Those two boys try to help you out. How were they trying to help out?
They said there was a dragon near the creek, near the river, and so they went out, said they were going to try to fight it for the town. Terrible time to leave. Goblins.
Did they make it back?
Nope. This was last night. They went out there. They haven't come back.
Oh, who was that?
Oh, my boys, Ned and Squints.
They went out hunting for the dragon? Well, that's not too bright. They say anything about what they they have any goods on how to fight a dragon that might be helpful?
Oh, they're just good boys, and they thought maybe if they could solve that problem, that there's this crazy rumor that there's a dragon out there, and they started to believe it, and they thought maybe they could go fight it, and then maybe it would solve the town's problems somehow. It's not,
Oh, Lord.
my.
Which direction did they go, sir?
Well, they went up just the creek north of here.
Okay, thank you very much. We need to go.
Drag them away from
Yeah.
dragon?
Yeah. Or whatever they've gotten themselves into.
Yeah, maybe they're a dire badger, whatever might be after him.
He's like, if you reconsider buying Seamus, I'll do it. I need the silver. He cries.
Yes, we'll take Seamus off your hands. You consider it a consignment. You can maybe when we'll be in town a while, maybe you'll come into some. Anyways, thank you very much. We'll gladly pay. What did you say again?
1,000 silver.
Wait, sorry. 1,000?
1,000 silver.
They ain't no mule
there-
like Seamus.
Is there a judge intent role in OSE?
What?
Judge intent or perceive
Oh yeah.
perceive shisty huckster?
What's it called in Pathfinder? It's called
Sense motive.
sense motive.
Yeah.
Perception. I want to do a perception check.
Can I do an insight?
I don't know. I mean, 1,000. I wasn't listening the first time he was going through his spiel.
He's really desperate, and Seamus is all he has, especially if he lost his boys. And to him, Seamus is worth 1,000 silver.
You know what?
Okay.
If we find we really need a mule, we might take you up on that. We don't have time for it now. We got to go see if your boys are.
Oh no, I actually here,
Fine.
step into our office real quick.
You don't
we
have
actually-
any. You don't have any way to trade this, as far as you know, right now. But that's 100 gold.
Yeah.
But,
Also-
but he's not going to take gold.
Don't have a real clear plan to buy it, but you know, who knows?
Well, I think we need a mule. We're planning on going all sorts of places.
Yeah, might not be a bad idea.
Might be a little bit easier to keep an eye on the bags if we're walking behind the mule instead of we're walking alongside it. These doggone pixies come through again, or whatever they were. Yes, we will do what we can to help you with the mule.
Bashaw's gonna check around to see if he can find any signs of a badger.
Yeah. Well, does anybody? I mean, as a ranger, would you be able to see if the mule's any good or not? Make sure we're not going to buy a mule that'll kill over.
Maybe.
You can do a tracking, whatever your ranger check is. It would be, and it depends on how much time you take. So it's currently, let's see what time it is. It's currently afternoon. You let me know how much time you take to try to look for the dire badger. And then the mule, it looks like a perfectly fine mule.
Okay.
Oh, I think maybe we should go rescue or check on Ned and Squint, and then
Yes.
Gotta find it. Yeah, see, make sure they're not. Well, they didn't suffer George's fate or worse.
All right, so you all go to get those two. Okay.
And I think that the river correlates with the directions we were given as well.
All right. You start on the north end of town. If you start at the gates where the farms are, where do you go first?
Sir, could you say that last part again?
I was saying, where do you go? You start on the north end of town. So actually, I'll move you there. And yeah, where do you go?
They went to the river. Is that right?
Yeah. I guess-
So we follow the river north, I guess. And look
You head
for any
north?
signs of them.
All right.
Yeah, I think north is the good call.
Bashaw, roll a d6 for surprise. You were
Nope,
not
roll
surprised, yeah. Ooh. You hear the slightest movement in the woods as you're traveling ahead of your companions. Something brushing against nearby vegetation and leaves. so slight that only you, a ranger, could hear it. Somebody intentionally moving stealthily in the brush.
Okay, Bashaw stops and just kind of yawns, and with the one hand that's reaching up, he kind of points in the direction and just kind of goes like that, and just casually pulls out his bow and is just not really looking at, just drum, strings his bow.
All right. Yeah, you string your bow and let me see. You think you see eyes in the brush, but it's obvious that they're still trying to move very stealthily. And you get the impression that they're trying to get away from you.
All right, he fires a shot right at the foot of the brush.
Okay, what's your intention?
Let's just scare the pants off of whoever's in there.
You're just trying to scare them. Okay. Roll a d20 to hit, I think, actually. That's a good thing. Let me see what they do. You get the impression, so the arrow misses. You fire it into the woods. You get the impression of slight and thin humanoids that suddenly they dart off into the woods.
It was, I think our tiny friends have shown up again.
These were people-sized. They were almost, or more, you couldn't tell exactly, but kind of humanish sized, except slight of build and very fast.
Did I catch any glimpse? Okay, well, that was the glimpse. Okay. Shaw's gonna...
And they had humanish eyes. Slightly different in a way, but yeah. And that's kind of the glimpses you catch.
I don't like that, but... scared him off.
Yeah, so just seeing Bashaw shoot an arrow, because I guess the rest of us didn't catch that. Like, whoa, what's going on?
The next thing you see is do you guys keep going, or do you try to track them down, or go back, or what do you do now?
I guess we should keep going. I tell you guys what I saw.
Yeah, so that we've scared them off. So just keeping an eye out for any more tails, I guess, as we move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to listen with my thiefy ears.
Thiefy ears. Okay. Eventually you hear through the brush as you're tracking through and kind of bushwhacking, you can hear rushing current striking rock and stone and burbling as this is a active running. It seems rainfall must have come here within the last week. It's a active water course, a current, and as you get closer, you hear, "Help me! Help me!" And then, like, there's just a scene of chaos and growling, and I have to kind of set this up because several things happened that I didn't expect. Let's do this, something like this. And Shaw onto here, and Ratbite Ben, and Edward. Are you all able to move your tokens?
Yep.
And then there is, let's see here. I want monsters, and I need sorry, I got to set this VTT up a little bit. And so what you see is this right here on the current is some little person. But it has weird dimensions. It doesn't look like a hobbit. Like, so hobbits have these big, meaty, hairy feet that they always kind of keep exposed. And they're maybe 3 feet tall or so or whatever. And this thing is a little bit smaller, but doesn't have big feet. He has little feet, and he's wearing little tiny shoes. And his dimensions are just kind of alien. He's got a big pot belly, and wearing green, and unusually festively dressed. And you can tell that he is stuck in a bunch of fisherman's line, and he's stuck in his own fishing line. It looks like he tried to draw something in, and now he's all stuck and tied up in it. And there are 2 hobbits here valiantly trying to defend him. It's obviously, Ben, it's those 2 hobbits you saw the night prior. It's Ned and Squints. And then there's a large beast. And you're certain that this large reptilian beast is a crocodile. It's not a dragon. This is not a dragon. And it's trying to snap at Ned and Squints and maybe try to eat this little dude, or all of them if you can get it. So yeah. So no one's surprised. Okay. 2d6 times 10. You are unfortunately 60 feet away. So in order to even get to them on this turn, you'll have to just dash just to get to them. And Edward, roll a d6 for initiative.
D6, you said?
Yeah.
4.
4. Okay. You all are able to act first. And let's see what the monster does too. Yeah. Got it.
Shaw's gonna strafe until he can get a clear line of sight.
All right, you do that.
And then he fires an arrow at that crazy lizard.
So combat then. All right. What's everybody else doing?
Well, no, because here's the thing. Animal friendship.
Oh, right.
Let me try that. And then we can start shooting if it doesn't work.
That'll really impress the hobbits. Or scare them.
Okay. What about Ben?
Ben was going to try and get. He was trying to get his, get up there to try and help. Hopefully, without getting too close to the crocodile. While I don't know, 60 feet away. I don't know how long it'll take if I can get there in one round. But also, I've got a rope in my pack that I'm going to be getting ready to try and throw somebody in the water if need be or something.
Okay. Yeah. You get your rope out. It takes you dashing the entire round. Can you move your token? You can get as far as those rocks right next to the 3 little people.
I like running around here. Okay.
Now, this requires me to get within 10 feet of it.
Ah.
And I have to have a piece of food it finds attractive.
Looking around at the rocks, are there any fish that was caught? This guy's caught in the fishing line. Or
He has a trout. I have it right here. It says, you see a struggling salmon on his line. I forgot to mention that. Didn't seem important at the time. Now it is.
It seemed extraneous at the time.
Salmon is always important.
Yeah.
Well,
He's like, don't cut my beard!
I'm gonna go cut the line real quick and grab that salmon.
He's like, no, don't cut it! Don't do it!
Yeah, I'm gonna get the salmon. And then I'm gonna get within 10 feet of this thing and do the business.
Okay.
Perfect setup. I love it.
All right. Let's see. So that's your.
It's a save versus spell.
Okay.
So
14 save versus spell is 16, so he fails.
in that case, he waits quietly while the caster performs a binding ritual lasting 6 turns.
He sits still while you do the binding ritual?
Yes.
What's that look like?
You know, okay, I did go to the Bard College.
Yeah.
So it looks like me singing a little tune to this thing.
That makes sense to me.
And it'll be something. It'll be with something. It doesn't have to be something. The tune might be the same every time, but I'll there'll be some different words that I'll make up on the spot.
You do that, and you guys are getting a bow, and Ben, you're running up to get a rope, and you see you see Edward rush forward, start singing a song, and enthralls this giant crocodile. And the crocodile is as still as he continues to do something. The little man who's now.
Oh, wait. How many HD is this crocodile?
Oh God. Is this going to screw? It's a lot. Does
it
that
might
matter?
screw everything. It might screw up everything.
How much? You tell me. Like what is?
Okay, so up to 2 HD of animals per level of the caster.
Okay, so you're level 2.
I'm level 2, so 4 HD.
That's pretty cool. I'm just going to say it works.
Okay, well in that case, I can't have any other companions probably. Well, as long as I've got this one.
Yeah, well, it's pretty cool. So
yeah.
Okay, so meanwhile, the little guy that you cut the line and the trout, the line was like curled up in his beard, which is what he was worried about. And you snipped his beard in order to get the trout free. And so he leaps up in front of you while you're making music and looks up at you and he's like, "You cut my beard!" And he snaps his fingers and you're, are you wearing armor?
Yes.
It turns into a dress. And then he disappears. It's on here. I didn't make it up.
Bashaz's kind of standing there with the bow knot and just kind of staring, not sure what to do with everything.
Yeah, I got that rope out. Like,
Hey, well,
he's still performing too, doing a ritual.
When the Lord closes a door, he opens a window, I guess, huh?
So
just don't let in a breeze.
Meanwhile, Ned and Squints, they put down their sticks and rods that they've sharpened to try to take on a dragon. And they're like, "Whoa, hey, you were at the Clumsy Fox last night."
yeah. Here you went all dragon slaying.
Yeah, we were trying to help our pa, but... well, that wasn't going to work out. And then we found this guy tangled up in his fishing line when we came out here.
This guy, you mean the one who just turned my armor into a dress and disappeared?
I reckon, sir. Now, listen, I know that's not properly hobbitish of you to just suddenly be wearing a dress and doing magical things and such, but I can attest to you, by my good word, that that was a ferryman. And I will tell anyone that you need to know, that you need me to tell that. I will attest to it, and I will put it in writing. I can't write, but someone may help me.
A notary or some such. I'm gonna take the dress up. Well, once the ritual's to 6 turns, so that's it's like an hour.
All right. In the meantime,
what's 6 turns at OSE?
Let's see.
Well, while he's playing that song and entertaining this crocodile, we can have a talk.
In a dress.
You dare not
It's
stop.
all part of the show, right?
Quick, sing a song that's a kilt.
This game is now no longer Saga Society official. I guess it wasn't before.
Yeah,
either,
we're in
but-
a different server, though. That's okay. Let's see. I'm trying to find the rounds. I don't remember, to be honest with you, off the top of my head, but I want to
Okay,
know.
so it says rounds are different, I think, but this says specifically 6 turns. So
A turn, I think, is it's
You-
pretty simple. It's 6 seconds.
I think that's a round. I think a round is
Oh,
6 seconds, so that there's 10 rounds per minute, and a turn is, I think, 10 minutes, or it could be 6 minutes, so that there's 10 turns an hour,
okay.
or something like that.
Either way, what is everybody else doing in the meantime?
Well, I guess I would have talked to Ned and Squints. And
Yeah.
Let's see so you're helping out your paw. Getting eaten by a dragon is probably not the best way to help him, but I admire your tenacity and goodwill to help your paw. But
Well, sir, it wasn't our intention, you see, to be eaten by no dragon. We was hoping we would kill the dragon, and that was what we were hoping to do.
clearly,
Ned says.
you got any good tips on killing dragons? I mean, we're kind of on the same boat, you know.
They look at the sticks they're holding. They're like, and Ned says, "No, sir. We ain't got no tips that we'd be giving on killing a dragon, sir. No, sir. Sorry."
Yeah.
These are fast becoming some of my favorite NPCs.
It is 10 minutes for a turn, by the way.
Okay.
Well, any other ways to help your paw? That I think we own your mule now. If that helps.
You own Seamus?
Did we buy him?
No, we don't have
No.
1,000 silver.
Oh yeah, we talked about it. We're in negotiations. We'll
Oh,
just-
goodness. Well, we'd have to sell the farm if we didn't have Seamus. Although
Okay,
maybe
well,
we
in
ought to
that
sell
case,
the
I
farm.
think- You know what? I think you make a good point. If we sell to your dad, that we'll think that we wouldn't want you to have to give up the farm. So we may have to wait on Seamus. But seemed like a good mule.
Ned, in a deeper voice, is like, "Sir, I ain't meaning to have no fuss about this or nothing, but what has happened here with this dragon?"
Oh, this here dragon. I guess he's still singing and playing for us. Like,
Yeah.
well, this ain't the dragon. In fact, it's I've actually seen enough sewer crocodiles to know what that is. Like, that's a crocodile.
Oh, no. And Squints is also like, "Oh, no. Oh,
What,
well, I reckon Brandonsford's done in then. We ought to maybe get out of town," turns to Ned. "How are we going to get our paw out of here? Maybe we can get one of them carts and hook Seamus up to it and hope for the best. Get past all the goblins south of here."
Yeah, the goblins could be a problem. Huh? See, is there a place anywhere? I mean, people seem to be leaving town. Is there anywhere for people to go that they're not going to have to go through a bunch of goblins, or run into a dragon who might be out in the woods in between wherever?
No, sir.
Brandonsford
I reckon actually that there is a dragon or something that has eaten our hunters, and then the woods are full of goblins and ferrymen that turn leather armor and weapons into dresses and such. And then if you is to get past that, then there are goblin armies that currently patrol the woods outside of here, all along the evening lands, that have been causing problems for the big people, as far as I know. And there ain't no dwarves that have been coming out of here from the Black Mountains through the trade pass, north of the Broken Dragon Shrine. So it might just be that this whole place is went to pot, really, sir.
It's looking that way, which I won't lie. It ain't good. We're trying to work on this whole dragon thing. In the meantime, you got your spears here you made. Maybe I don't know that the bounders are doing much good with all the fall festival stuff. If the dragon were to come to town, they'll need somebody to defend the place, right? So maybe that's the best thing you can be doing for your paw, helping them with any of the gardening and all that. And then somebody needs to be patrolling just in case that dragon does show up. Because I do appreciate, it seems like a lot of people, maybe they don't want to believe the dragon. Founder's a little busy with the fall festival.
The position also comes with compensation. Money.
Ned gets a look in his eye and starts trying to count his fingers, and then he gives up for a second, tries to count them again. He's like, fair share of it. I don't know much about dragons, sir, but I know they like, I've heard they like shiny objects. And to be honest, sir, my family needs that right now.
I meant just patrolling, but I don't think I can back out of that one.
Well, I'll tell you, I was like, oh, if we can get some good treasure from the dragon and you actually defend the town, I think a fair share can be determined, maybe. And in the meantime, we're still not here. As far as that train of thought goes, we might eventually decide we need some help on that dragon. In which case, if we have you come along, maybe a better share of the treasure would be in order.
That's
We're
what
not
I
there
was.
yet.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, sir. I thought that you were going to go and try to kill the dragon, and then we'd go and try to help to kill the dragon, and we'd get whatever it has. But if that's not the case, we're going to be going to help our paw, I think. And he looks over at Ned, and Ned's like, we probably ought to go check on paw. I reckon we ought to head home. And what is happening with this alligator then? Looks at Edward like
he's
everyone
still
looks
singing.
at Edward like, yeah, and it,
Still singing.
Still singing. Well,
so okay, so
that
we'll
remains
say
to be determined. Maybe he'll help us kill the dragon. It's all plans are in motion.
out of character. What is the end result if this thing, like after this thing is?
Yeah, so the effect is permanent.
No.
Yes. It's
Okay.
permanent. So once the binding is complete, the animal behaves as follows. It will follow the caster wherever they go, leaving the animal. The animal will not harm the caster, but if it is left alone for more than 3 days during the first 3 months, it reverts to its natural behavior, ending the spell. Training. During the first 3 months, the animal may be trained to perform up to 6 simple tricks, depending on its intelligence. Each trick takes 1 week to train.
I'm gonna say that it's only gonna recognize you if you wear the dress. Also, how are you gonna get this thing into Brandonsford? What are you gonna do with it?
Give it a hat.
I will say that
We need another
it's gonna
hat
have
and a
a bag.
sash.
We need more hats. Also, this thing, I'll give it to you. It is a huge crocodile.
Huge.
Or large. Sorry, large crocodile. Yeah, I didn't. I wanted to go because you said 4 hit die, and so I was like, well, you passed it, and I don't want to take it back, so I decided I wasn't going to take it back. So, but
Okay.
I will adjust the hit points down from that. So I'll actually let me roll that right now.
Okay.
Of course, I don't have it, so 4d8 hit points, and that'll make it that. Roll 4d8. So it has 22 hit points, and it has bite and feeding frenzy. Also, this thing eats a lot, and it's currently hungry.
Oh, we got 2 hobbits.
Well, I got a salmon for it right here.
It hungrily chomps down the salmon and looks at you like you're its mama and it wants more.
Yeah. Well,
But you do have a giant crocodile, or a large crocodile. I mean,
yeah. Well, let's
Party mascot.
Yeah. But
yeah.
as far as Ned and Squints go, if they're going back to town, like we've got to. I'm all for like, plans are in motion, and when we are ready for our expedition, we may take you up, and there's a promise of treasure.
We'll consider that offer, sir. Thank you so much. And they bow, and then Ned takes his hat off and kind of like bows because they're like, well, this is what big people do. So they bow and then they head back to the Shire. All right, what do we do now?
Shaw kind of turns around, takes a look at the crocodile. One more look at Edward. He just kind of goes, and continues walking.
So, are we going to the Barrow Mounds? Or are we going to go back to town for anything, or
To the Barrow Mounds.
while we have a crocodile?
While we have the crocodile,
I
let's
don't know
go
if
to
it'll
the
actually
Barrow
do
Mounds.
anything we wanted to for a while. You just got to hang out with it for a few months, right?
Yeah.
One thing is you didn't actually get directions, but here you are.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Directions might have been helpful.
Right, yeah, that does seem important.
Yeah, I mean, I heard, were the Barrow Mounds north of town, or am I just hearing north everywhere?
Actually, they did mention that it was north, on the near side of the river. And you guys are currently on the near side.
Okay. So it's on this side of the river to the north. And we keep following the river and looking for clearings or where Barrow Mounds might be. Trying to keep an eye and ear out for any more faithful that are gonna screw with us.
Thankfully, they're not hobbit mounds, they're human mounds, otherwise
We'd never see it.
we'd never see them. Is that it? No, that's a hill. Is that? No, that's a hill.
Well, should we just seek it on our own, or should we trek back?
I think we can find it. Probably right at dark, which is the least good time to be in those, but that's perfect. What could go wrong?
Yes.
Okay. Which direction do you all go? Do you stay along? Do you go back in the woods, or do you stay along the river, or cross the river, or go back, or what?
North along the river.
You stay with the river on the coast. Okay. All right. You're traveling along, and it gets to be like a kind of a meadowy, kind of like low area that's just above where the river, this small narrow river is, and there's kind of like little creeks that kind of come out that feed into bogs nearby, and you're kind of tromping through this kind of squishy bog, and all of a sudden, and the bog starts to move, and you're lifted up into the air as the whole ground starts to lift up, and everybody can make a dexterity attribute check.
Fail.
Fail.
Success.
Success.
That's a fail.
Fail. Two of you fail, and you take, as you drop 10 feet back and you hit sticks and logs and things and crash into the ground, you take 1 point of falling damage as you fall 10 feet and the moss, and it like raises up, and eventually you see this face that's like made of just moss and stuff, and it's got big long gangly arms with these big like moss covered claws that end in sharp black things at the end, and it's got these tiny beady eyes. Yeah, there's this huge creature towering above you now. It makes out a bellowing noise. You realize it's scared also. Like, it's surprised. Bashaw, you can roll for surprise.
Nope.
And I think you're the one that passed too, right?
Yeah.
You kind of land on your feet, and you have your bearings and stuff, and you have your weapon ready if you wanted to use it or anything. But what do you do in this situation? This giant thing is bellowing at you, all of you, and towering over you.
I'm gonna kind of throw my arms, well, not like up, but kind of like up like that, and try to
like, T-pose. You're gonna like, oh, you're gonna try to calm it. You're not gonna
like a calming gesture.
Okay. Okay. Oh, and you have an alligator.
Right, that too.
It was.
Let me see if the alligator falls. I forgot about that. Chris, if you want to, OSE SRD, large crocodile, and you have control of it. But you can make a dexterity check for it. You can use your stat, because it doesn't have stats. I don't think so. Be something like as level 3 fighter or something, level 4 fighter. I don't know. Guess it's a level 6 fighter.
Okay, large crocodile. Dexterity saving throw is 12.
Does that pass for you?
Hold on a second. And that's just where you have to roll under your stat, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it would not pass for me.
Oh, okay.
It has. I mean, you told me to look up the stats here. It's got all the saves. No, that's death. Then that's not dexterity. That's death.
Oh, you can use your stats.
Okay. Yeah.
Does a 12 pass for you?
Okay. No, I didn't roll anything. I was reading out what
okay.
I thought was. Okay, I just rolled a 9, which equals my dex.
Okay, so it passes. So the crocodile slithers off this giant mossy mound next to Bashaw. And, yeah, and actually, let me look it up. Let's see.
So it's, by the way, 20 feet or more. That's what it says.
20 feet or more?
That's what it says.
Is this how large it is?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anyways, Bashaw, you can roll for initiative as well. See who can act first.
Roll a 4.
I will say the crocodile and Bashaw are able to act. But it is able to act first, so I'm going to see what it does.
Yeah, I haven't trained it at all.
Oh, no.
Well, it just doesn't have tricks, right?
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
Yeah, but you can use it to attack or whatever. No. Yeah, you need to be able to train it. That needs everything it does is a trick. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so an attack is a trick. Yeah.
I mean, it'll act on its own accord.
I mean, I almost hesitate to ask how hardcore you're going to get with it, because it is a crocodile, and
I feel safe in being pretty hardcore about it because it is a huge crocodile, so it's okay. Let's see here.
Well, no, what I mean is it going to find my companions attractive?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think I would. Yeah, I see what you mean. You're right. Oh, geez. Okay, morale doesn't have listed morale. What a shame. Notes. Here it is, morale 7. Oh no, it's going to try to run. Your crocodile tries to run off.
All right.
But that doesn't mean that it's just gone forever, but you see it starting to run off in this situation. And then, fascinating. This giant thing is also like, whoa, and you scare it and it starts tromping away through down the bank and running away from you. But it scares off your crocodile into the woods. So if you're going to get your crocodile back, you have to try to find it in the woods now. I'm not trying to be vindictive. Like, I love this crocodile thing, but I'm using all the morale.
I've lost my armor. I have to wear a dress, and now I have to go find it.
I mean, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess
to be fair,
that's
I
a
feel
first
better
level
having
skill
a
for you.
giant crocodile with this.
Than my armor.
Yeah.
I will say, so long as you're wearing the dress and find the crocodile, you can soothe it with the same song in the woods.
The same song? Wait, I have to cast the spell again?
No, you just, singing the song, and that makes it feel like it's your mama. You're its mama.
All right. Well, all right.
Bashaw is once again slightly confused about the situation that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to find it. I mean, it's a big crocodile waddling through the woods. So
Do you want to try to find it?
Well, why wouldn't I try to find it?
Well, you'll have to go off into the fairy woods, but...
It's a croc... Well, all right. I mean, how long has he been gone?
I will say... I
mean, the thing ran right away, so I would have probably ran right after him.
Yeah, you can try to... You know what? We could do that. We could do evasion rules to see if you can just catch up. So I think it's basically for an evasion... Come on. (116) evasion and pursuit. This isn't something I use that much, but it starts out very simple. It's your movement rate. So let's see, your crocodile's movement rate is 90 feet because it's big. Yeah. The fleeing side is faster. So it's going to run away from you faster than you can catch up. But you can still try to track it. And Bashaw, you have the ranger tracking thing. You can do that also with a wisdom check if you want to try to do that. But you'll get different results. Okay, so your wisdom passed. What about your ranger tracking check?
That is...
Now, it does say it will follow the caster wherever they go.
Yeah,
So
it's just scared. You just have to find it.
He'll get over it. All right.
Failed.
Okay, so what I'll say, first of all, you have to go into the woods. It's now getting to be evening time. And I'm also going to see...
I don't know if it's really worth it.
I think it's totally worth it.
Any bonuses for like soft earth because we're in a or anything?
Let's
Size
see.
of it, the group being tracked is a big animal. Does that give any bonus?
If it was running in fear, he's probably not trying to be too stealthy. Not that I don't think crocodiles ever try to be too stealthy.
So I know what's happened. You can find and get your crocodile. However, unfortunately, does your crocodile have a name? Not yet.
Not yet.
We're not there yet. It has found trouble in the woods, is what has happened, and it's in trouble.
It's in trouble.
We first had to rescue a fairy from a crocodile. Now we have to rescue a crocodile.
Oh, yeah, we sure rescued that fairy, all right. Goodness gracious.
No beard cutting.
All right. Well, I mean, What kind of trouble is he in?
You hear growling noises ahead and snapping and snarling and shuffling. As obviously, obviously the crocodile friend is trying to fend off something that is snarling at it. Two things in the woods ahead.
Is it a dire badger?
Do you go and look?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try to stealth up there, I guess.
You
Ooh,
see.
yeah. Sneak up on a
Move silently.
3.
Ben can try that, but otherwise it would be an encounter check.
Rangers have 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
Okay, and that passes for that?
Yeah.
Okay, rad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just say that you can
Yeah.
do that then. Yeah, so
Range.
you have surprise, so you have a surprise around. You're able to see, first of all, that there are 2 huge wolf-like creatures with shaggy black fur and glowing eyes. And at first you hear growling, but then you realize they're talking in common. And they're like, "How did you get away from your water, reptile? Think you'll prove a good snack," the other one says, and they're circling and snapping at it and stuff, and that's what you see.
Shaw looks over at Rapite Ben and is
Yeah, maybe not.
yeah, we kind of sneak away.
Oh, you're gonna leave the alligator?
I don't want to mess with those.
That sounded beyond our pay grade.
I'm just a little level 1.
No, you're level 2 at least.
Level 2. Just
Yeah.
a little level 2.
I'd like to make it to level 3.
Yeah.
I've died once already. I don't want to do it again.
I mean, what is it doing? Is it cowering? Is it a cowering crocodile?
No, the crocodile's fighting back, but these
Okay.
things are very fast. Oh, I forgot to mention they're kind of like, wolf-like, shaggy black fur, glowing eyes, yeah, and large.
So it's not a dire badger.
They're like wargs or something. I don't know.
And they're trying to kill this thing, kill the crocodile. Do you watch and see who wins, or do you sleeve, or you try to help, or what do you do?
Kinda
You
head
got 2
back
votes
to
for leaving.
Describe the situation.
I certainly can't take these things by myself, so
I mean, if you want to try and fight for your new pet,
I'm not going to sacrifice all our lives to save a wild beast that I just met. So yes, and maybe the only sad part is we can't even sell his skin or turn it into armor for me.
If we climb trees, we can just rain arrows down on them.
Well, you could.
I really need to invest in some arrows, I think, in a bow. Yeah.
Actually, I should soon too. I've got 15.
I mean,
left.
I got like a throwing axe. That's about it.
Yeah, we should go.
Okay. All right. So which direction do you go? It is now early evening.
Edward takes off the dress and throws it behind him into the woods
Okay.
and leaves and goes into a funk, a dejected black funk.
Roll for despair.
Yeah.
Well, so we're in the woods. No clear idea if we're in the right direction for these barrow mounds. We lost our crocodile. We just got the...
Your one sword fighter lost his armor.
Yeah, I'll go collect your dress and hide it just for later, just in case you get nostalgic.
Just don't show it to me.
Yeah.
You estimate the dress is probably worth 3 gold pieces.
Let's see. There we go. Waste not, want not. Still through my pack.
Yeah.
Would you like to wear my leather? I really shouldn't be in direct conflict.
Oh, friend, a friend in need, a friend indeed. How can I refuse?
All right. Give him my armor. +2 to your armor class. Yay.
Every little bit helps. Speaking of which, I have to adjust my armor class. What does that set it to? I was 14 before with the chain. What is the leather? So it's 12 now?
I think so, yeah.
Checks out because yeah. Yeah, because I got leather armor and a +1 dex, so I've got 13. So if you don't have a dex bonus, I guess it'd be 12.
Well, do we proceed?
So it's early evening now.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to try and set up camp somewhere? Or do we want to go wandering through the woods and try and make our way back to town, or set up camp is kind of what I'm thinking. Otherwise,
Yeah, maybe head back, because
yeah.
either we're going to be setting up camp at the Barrow Mounds, or we'll be sitting around where...
No,
Lost in the woods, yeah.
We'll return.
Do you go back by way of the river or straight Dead Reckoning back through the woods, and then make it back to the south gate?
I like the river.
Yeah, the river, the woods, is too many fairies in the woods, and apparently talking wolves monster things, so...
It's not a good place.
Yeah. Who knows, maybe we'll find you another crocodile in the river.
I'd rather you find me another chainmail.
It's now in the evening, and you make it back to Brandonsford.
Well, that was certainly not successful.
Well, we
Well-
probably saved those 2 young hobbits' lives. At least there's that.
Right.
We,
I forgot about that part, definitely.
we might have some help when we go on our worm killing expedition.
Yes, so we can sacrifice them for our own purposes.
Yep, we have some people to carry our loot, and
The
maybe...
tiniest little meat shields.
Yeah.
All right. It's still light out, not like this picture. So what do you do? What do you do next? It's evening time. Coming back through the north gate, facing the river, you can see the farmland, and you can see Farmer Gill hugging his sons, Ned and Squints.
That's wholesome.
Take care of your paw now, and we'll let you know when we need some help with that dragon.
Bashaw's going to return late at night and leave some money on their doorstep, and I don't know, maybe some twigs to make it look like a fairy gave him stuff. I don't know.
What type of money do you leave?
Oh yeah, we have any local currency. Did they notice how our money was foreign?
It's for you, as Chris said, 4 worlds deep in terms of how foreign it is. Because you were from another world, and then you went to another world, and then went to another world, and now you're in the 4th world, or at least through a land. I'll say land, not world necessarily.
Actually, we can't use all our silver, so I'll skip that. We only have it's not that we only have 198 left. It's just that I don't want to reduce our coffers too much, because we got a lot of money, but there's only 2 that we can use. So.
All right. What next?
To the tavern for me.
Drinks.
All
Sounds
right.
like we need a drink after that. Yeah, we'll go buy a drink to drown your sorrows over losing your alligator so quick, or your crocodile.
It's not the not the crocodile that I care about, Ben.
Oh, well,
No,
seems like you guys got tight real quick,
I did that to save everybody's life.
and much appreciated it was.
Yes. Well,
Good song.
now I need to meditate internally in order to overcome. It's the armor. Don't you
Oh, yeah.
understand?
Well,
I'm naked
maybe if
without it.
Well, maybe if we run across that guy whose beard's cut, we can have him make it up to him and
Oh,
turn
yeah.
it back.
I do. I hope we run across him. Yes.
Maybe in 24 hours it'll return to proper chainmail.
That's who knows. Probably not.
Well,
though.
we'll see.
Probably not.
Well, shame I tossed it in the woods then.
Yeah, that's a shame.
What? Tell me. Give me some more of that red. I say to the bartender, whatever that was.
Let's see here. Wow, I'm having more of an issue with this one than I thought. Here we go. How about this? And then let's go to a. Oh dear.
So while we're drinking tonight, we should this time ask about how to get to the barrel mills. Am I?
Yes. A wise suggestion.
Interesting. Well, having some technical issues here. There we go. Okay. So, which of the bars do you go to? You go to the Clumsy Fox?
No, you know what? I'm gonna go to the other one, the one on the wrong side of the tracks.
Okay. It does look kind of disheveled from the outside, and you certainly would not hear a bunch of people. They would at least be further away. Maybe let me try. This is too ominous. It is too ominous. Just pick one of them. So, it almost looks like a bit of a haunted place. Like there's apparent and overt disrepair to the Golden Egg Tavern. And as you approach, the door is almost off the hinge, and just and then you hear a voice on the other side. Another old hobbit with another white beard is like, who's there? I don't have anything.
You have customers.
Customers. Oh, yes, right away, sirs. Oh, and you're from the outside. I see that. Well, no problem. Let me get several of the chairs. And he starts rushing around, excited to have customers.
Yes, this is the place for me tonight.
Are you're shirtless except for like the?
Well, I'm not shirtless. I was probably wearing I mean, how much did he turn into a dress? Everything that I had on the top? Or?
No, yeah. So probably you're wearing one of those undershirts from
Well,
that era, right?
Definitely
I mean,
under chainmail.
there's gonna be a tunic. There might be a light gambeson under it, you know, but that would count as armor. So I don't know how. Not really, but not in D&D terms. But you know, some sort of thick cloth of some, you know.
Yeah. So he says, "Well, what can I get for you, sir? Anything at all. I'll get it right up to you."
Your absolute best in the house, please.
Right away, sir. Nothing but the best from the golden egg. And he runs off into the back.
Excitable fellow.
He comes out again, and he has a carafe that's like made just of clay, and then something like earthenware type cups that he has a kind of opaque brownish liquid in, and he puts it down onto the table, and he's like, I don't have much in the way of food right now, but I hope you'll like the ale. That's 10 silver pieces.
How much was it at the other place?
His best at the other place was the famous foxtail for 3 silver pieces a pint.
I was like, well, did he bring some for everybody? I guess only Edward ordered, right?
Yeah, it's like a well, it's 10 silver pieces. It's 10 silver pieces a person. It's obviously overpriced.
Right. I want to give, like, if he brought some for I was just like, even if it was just Edwards, I'm going to go give that a sniff first, just to, before, you know, when he says 10 silver pieces, sniff it. Does it even smell like ale? Yeah,
no, it vaguely, but it's actually just like dirty, watered down swill.
Yeah. It's like,
are you trying to insult us?
This ain't ale. I'm sorry.
He says, I'm sorry. Please don't tell anyone else. I don't know what to do. I
Listen here, my good man, my good hobbit. I've not had a good day. I chose to come here because I thought it would be a bit quieter so I could drink in peace. And instead, I can't even drink at all. What do you call this? You picked the wrong day to pull this on me, my friend.
He's like, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, sir. It's just, things have been, look, if you look like really competent people, and I see you're wearing that bounder sash, and I didn't mean no insult, sirs. I'll tell you the truth, even if you don't believe me, but I tell you, I think that Bentley over there, I think he's a thief. It's the only thing that's made any sense. This used to be a respectable establishment, and I know that we don't get no shipments in here, but even then, somebody has been going through my supplies. And suddenly everything's going just fine over there at the Clumsy Fox Tavern. And then all my stuff it's all watered down, and he looks at it and he picks up your cup, and you can actually see saliva in it. And it's like, somebody's been drinking it. How does that even happen?
So where do you get your whatever you call this? Do you make it yourself?
Well, I do work on brewing, sir, but I get some supplies from outside of town. But I have my own stock.
Do you?
But somebody's been breaking into the stock and stealing from it.
Where do you keep it?
Yeah, I was like, we get a look at it for you. I don't know, but like, is it actually being stolen, or is it just turning bad? Could it be fairy business?
It looks to me like somebody's been breaking into it, drinking it, and stealing it. And I will give you... It's all I have left, but it doesn't mean much now, and I know you big folk like it, so... I'll give you 1,000 silver pieces if you can figure out what happened to my stock, and catch this thief.
Why, that's the price of a good...
I was like, that'll buy a mule. I mean, I'm up to I'm up to where you sleep in your storage room. wait for anybody. I can try and hide in the dark and
That's what I was thinking, sir. Is,
ambush
maybe
somebody.
if you stake the place out tonight, watch, see if somebody comes and tries to mess with it. I know it's Bentley or one of his goons, and why we could let the Shire Reeve know and set all this business straight, and the golden egg can be what it used to be.
Yeah, Shaw could hide outside. Keep watch like that way.
You hide outside, maybe I hide inside just in case. Stake the place out. Either one of us. Hopefully, if it's just hobbits stealing from hobbits, we don't have to worry about anything too dangerous. But just in case,
I'll have to give it in payment, sir. He reaches through his stuff and he brings out a bag and he hands 50 silver pieces to Bashaw. And he's like, I'll have to give it to you in payments over time, but consider this a down payment. My name's Quinn. I used to be the best bartender in town. The Golden Egg Tavern. Now, what are your names?
Edward.
Rat-bite Ben, at your service.
I am Bashaw.
Ben Edward Bashaw. Bashaw. That's a very Dulkeen sort of name, but very well. Okay, well, there's nothing to it. I suppose wake me up if you find anything. And I'm afraid to admit this is probably the best I have for now. No, that's not true. I have one other thing. And he goes and he takes a bottle down from the back of the bar and he's like, you can take this off your price. It's worth, I don't know, probably 200 silver pieces in its own right. It's the best bottle of wine I have.
Is it the only bottle of wine you have?
That it is, sir.
No.
Well,
If you have another bottle, if it's a bottle of wine, we can take your less than best. But if this is all you got,
save the
how
goods.
bad you want to drink it?
Not that bad. I don't need to add a guilty conscience onto the rest of this day.
All right, well, you'll see, sirs, I'm not crazy. We'll send that little thief back to whatever hole he crawled out of. And thank you, sirs. And he stomps off to bed.
One more job and no more information. One less suit of armor. I'm not going to think about the crocodile. Poor thing.
He did, in fact, think about the crocodile.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Yeah, what do you do now? It is
So
now
is there-
evening.
Well, since I can't get drunk here, so I'll head back to the other place. And maybe we can just head back there and make some discreet inquiries.
All right. Yeah, you go back to the other tavern, and it's a busy establishment, and plenty of people are here drinking and enjoying themselves. You see a great number of hobbits that you could talk to. What do you want to ask them?
Who would have directions to the Barrow Mounds?
Oh, well,
Seems like strange drinking conversation, but
Knob's here. You also have, you see, Eric, the town reeve, is here right now, in fact. And you also just have other hobbits that you could try talking to.
do we want to ask the town reeve if he has any insight on what Dirk might have been, why he wanted Dirk to go to the Barrow Mounds?
Yes, why not?
He's like, buy the Reeve a drink. He's like, hey, what, talk him up. Yeah.
Hello there, Deputy. Look, I heard about what you did for Squints and Ned, and it's awfully good of you to go and help them out like that. You know, Gil hasn't had the best season this year.
They seem like good boys, want to take care of their pa and the town too. So
they don't have the best
for
reputation.
everybody.
You know, they live out there over near the gate, and you know what they say about hobbits that live near the gate?
Live near the gate. And
Yeah, I sigh loudly and roll my eyes.
I think you say I hear that they're pretty good boys who are taking care of their pa. That's what I heard.
Well, it's awfully kind of you to be they seem like good hobbits. You have no argument from me.
Good. So while we were out there, I couldn't help but, well, I understand that that there's some business going on at the Barrow Mounds. Maybe some leads on this dragon.
Barrow Mounds, over closer to the foothills of the mountain range. What about it?
Well, I was understanding. Was it? There's some big folk burial mounds out there, right? So about how far off is that? You know, big folk stuff. I was just curious.
Oh, the mounds, they're probably several miles upriver. And then about a mile or so inland from the river.
Okay.
During this conversation, actually, no, Rashad's gonna go stay.
Your microphone's up, I think. I think it's up. There we go.
Sorry.
That's okay.
While this is going on, actually, Bashaw's going to keep watch over the other place, hiding outside somewhere.
Okay. You can make any kind of check that you have that is special to a ranger. Otherwise, you can do a search room check, like a D6. Not either way, I'll at least be 1 or 2 and 6. I'm sorry, Ben. What were you saying?
I wasn't saying. I was trying to get directions to the Barrow Mound, I guess. But so when I'm asking about the Barrow Mounds, he's acting like he doesn't know anything about dirt. He didn't see.
Right. He's just like nonchalant about it. He's like, yeah, I suppose that sounds like a typical big person thing. Off to find holes in the ground to explore and try to find treasure and trouble to get into. It's all very. But
do you know what?
It's what I'm paying you for. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, microphone. So, you know anything that might be any of note about these Barrow Mounds if we were to say go on big folk business over there?
Well, they're tombs of big folk. In particular, Sir Brandon himself, who was a big folk person that founded the town in the very beginning, and a bunch of his friends and a bunch of legends from his time. I think they're all buried together there out in the mounds. It used to be a place before I was around, or at least when I was a young lad, when people used to do a pilgrimage to go, like big people would travel through the area and do pilgrimages to it.
But, you know anything about... So, that's good to know. Anybody been out there recently that you know about?
Not that I know of. Especially with the woods crawling with goblins and fairy men and things like that. I don't know why anybody would want to go out there. No offense to present company, of course. Anyways, it's about 2 or 3 miles up the river, and then you'll want to go about a mile inland.
All right, good to know. Anyone else?
Make sure he's not hiding anything. That's about it.
Okay. So, Edward, how you doing? You Sorrow's drowned yet?
Well, it depends. How many have I had?
What'd you get on your roll, Bashaw?
I rolled a 5. I didn't find anything.
Okay.
So he's just going to hide in a tree and keep watch.
All right. Yeah, do you guys want to talk to anybody else? Ask about other things?
So you said Knob was there, and the Reed, pretty much.
And there's, Bentley, who's the owner, and it's later in the evening at this point. You don't see, you do not see George, and then the rest of the people here you haven't met, you don't recognize.
Okay. And so we talked with Bentley last time about his stock, and he's just claimed he's getting all the best stuff from around town to make the beer with. Is that the story?
I don't think anybody asked him how he had his stock.
Okay, well then I will try to order a drink and compliment the bartender on the quality of his ale, and ask him about, as a connoisseur, so to speak, big folk stuff. I'm this hobbit. You guys know your way around a brewery. Apparently, some really good stuff. I'll try and chat him up. And so, where do you get this quality stuff? As I understand, it must be local. With trade being disrupted and everything.
Oh, why, thank you. And he says, that's 3 silver pieces. Here's my foxtail brew. And yes, the trade, it's hard to get supplies in anymore, and crop's been bad this year, so this is coming out of my stock. It's part of why the hot prices are so high. Although silver's not, I don't know if it'll get us through this season. I don't know how much silver matters anymore. We really need things to turn around here.
Hope we can help with that. So is this your personal stock? How long is this gonna last?
Well, sir, I'm gonna stop saying sir. And what's your name again? Is it Ben?
Oh, Ben. Yes, Ben.
Yeah, Ben. Look, the truth is that I'll keep the stock out just for the fall festival, but after that, I'm gonna have to really kind of curtail it and offer something a little bit low shelf, if you know what I mean.
How is this better than that swill over at the Golden Egg? Ooh.
Yeah, poor Quinn. He really seems to be having a hard time. I don't envy him.
Nope. Definitely a hobbit on on bad times.
Well, can I get you some food? Do you want to stay for the night? Anything else?
Oh, I think I'm just here for a few drinks, and then I'll be. I guess I'll be staying with some of my companions in Big Folk Place. With at least high ceilings.
Oh, you're staying over at Brandon's house.
Yeah.
It's not very comfortable.
Luckily, I'm used to uncomfortable, so.
I could probably I could get you some furnishings in there if the Reeve allowed it, and well, if the matronly order will allow it. They kind of keep things a tight ship around here in the Shire. But for maybe 100 silver, I could probably get some furnishings in there, at least to start.
That is mighty generous of you, and I will have to talk with my companions to make sure everybody's on board with that. But so maybe not tonight, but much appreciated, and we may be following up with you on that.
Absolutely. Well, good night to you. And he goes off and starts serving somebody else. It's now getting quite late, and the patrons start to leave and everything. Bashaw, you've been watching, and as all the patrons start to go home and it gets really late at night, Bashaw, you hear a noise, scuffling, and you see the cellar door or cellar window open. You're outside, you're watching. You see the cellar window creak open, and then you hear, and then And then the cellar window just closes.
Okay, Bashaw's gonna go and sit beside the window, kind of hide, and then wait. And when they come back out, he's just gonna grab them up for a late drink.
Yeah, after that conversation, I was gonna head that way, but
Oh no. I didn't put the artwork in. That's big sad. Oh wait, no, I have it. I think. So the cellar window just opens and you grab. Is that what you do? Okay. You grab a hold of something and you grab a little man that's probably this big. And you grab a hold of it and he's like, all of a sudden it's no longer invisible and it's like, let go, let go, let go. And he's got a jug that he's dragged out and he's got his armor in it. I think you're muted. Yeah, you're muted.
Sorry. Bashaw just kind of starts looking at him and then starts walking with them towards where the rest of the guys are.
Wait! Listen, big man, wait, just listen, really. Hey, hear me out, please, stop for a second.
All right. Bashaw just kind of slows his pace slightly.
Oh, okay, hey, listen, big guy, listen. If you let me go, hear me out. I'll give you my pot of gold. It's yours. A whole lot of gold. It's yours. I'll give it to you if you just let me go.
Kind of stops, and he's not like looking at him. He's just kind of holding him up. Keeps walking. No. Okay. Keep walking. All right. Where do you go? I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna start walking towards the other pub, the Clumsy Fox, and see if I bump into these guys.
You do. Ben and Edward, you run into Bashaw, who has a little ferryman that he's holding.
What in God's name?
Wow, I was headed your way to help out with, but it looks like you already caught the culprit, it seems, huh?
I did. This is the little man who's
Hey, other big people, listen. If you let me go, as I was telling him, I've got a pot of gold. I've got a lot of gold. It's yours. You can have the pot of gold.
What good is gold gonna do when we're stuck here where there's no trade and we got a bunch of hobbits?
I go, down south, the humans, they like the gold. The dwarves like the gold. The dwarves, they make amazing things. They'll take the gold right off of you and give you really great stuff for it.
How do we get there? But I hear there's a dragon out there, so I don't know if we'd ever make it anywhere to spend that gold, now would we?
Oh, I'm sure big people like yourself, big tough warriors, you would be able to handle a dragon no problem. I'm sure you can get right past that.
Oh, is that if you have any special knowledge of this dragon, maybe, and how easy it would be for big folk to take it?
Oops, I'll re-roll that. Gosh darn it. There we go. Here it is. Okay. Pot of gold, and I'll tell you how to kill the dragon.
And you are? By the way, maybe we just got off on the wrong foot. Who are you? What are you doing?
I don't really want to give you my name. Sorry.
One of those situations.
Maybe we should go visit this apothecary again.
She'll know what to do.
She might know what to do.
Really, it's not necessary. I can help you.
Well, my friend, you see, you've caught me on a bad day. So I don't care about any help you have to offer. None of it sounds very good so far. Meanwhile, we know that this poor man has been in deep trouble since you began pilfering his supplies, drinking his good ale, and leaving your saliva behind in its place. And so, no, I think I like the idea of just getting rid of you in one way or another.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. I've got friends, and I could tell you a lot about what's going on out there, but
Can your friends find my chainmail?
yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Right here.
Yeah, it's a lot of words. You have a lot of words. I think folk like you often will say just about anything.
You guys are walking
When they-
towards the apothecary.
Yeah.
So, pot of gold, chainmail, tell you how to kill the dragon.
How to kill a dragon is maybe not as helpful as you know. Oh yeah, you kill
None
the
of it-
dragon by doing this. Well, that doesn't necessarily make it easier to kill the dragon. We have ways of killing a dragon. We know how, in theory, to kill a dragon. We're looking for practical, goods, so to speak, to get this there. So don't worry, we'll the apothecary, all right?
No! And he just yells the whole time as you go. And you
Yeah.
make it to the apothecary. And, what's his name? Her name?
Ingrid.
Ingrid opens the door and she's like, "Oh dear. Why, that's a ferryman."
Yes, it is.
He's been stealing Quinn's ale.
Oh,
All
that's terrible. Well, what are you
We-
going to do with him?
We are bringing him to you.
No, don't bring him to me, please.
Well, we're not going to leave him with you. We just hoped you might have a way of getting rid of him.
She looks at the fairy creature and she's like, "I don't have any part of this. Please don't come to my house." And then he's like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's not your fault."
Well, should we take him to Quinn? At least,
Take him to Quinn.
I mean, if nothing else, to clear Bentley's name, because Quinn seems to think it was Bentley.
Oh no! And like you carry him back, carried him back and forth out in the
Just walk
streets at
around
night. Yeah,
He'll decide what to do with you.
Oh,
you go to the Golden
you
Egg.
know
and-
anybody in town? What's your name?
I'm not gonna give you my name.
No. Well, what should we call you then? I don't know. We'll come up with something.
You
Unless
make
you want
it.
to tell us.
You make it back to the Golden Egg and wake up Quinn, and Quinn is like, "It's a ferryman."
Who's been stealing your booze?
And he looks at the ferryman. He's like, "If you're a ferryman and you've been stealing from me, that means you owe me something." And he's like, "Oh." And he's like, "I want this place to be clean, and I want you to sweeten my booze. And if you do that, I'll help you out, and I'll give you some booze too. It's hard for everybody right now." And the little ferryman's like, "You'd do that for me?" And Quinn's like, "Yeah, let's work together." And he's like, and then the little ferryman's like, "We're gonna have the best tavern in town. You let me go, please." And he starts kicking his legs.
Kershaw just kind of looks at him, goes, "It's a good deal."
For your name? I'm just desperate now.
I'm not giving my name. And Quinn's like, "Oh, so it turns out it wasn't Bentley after all. Thank you all so much. I don't have 1,000 silver, but I'll pay you. I'll pay you in installments. Can I do that, please?"
Actually, if the bar turns around, I just worry about keeping this guy honest. I guess you got a bargain with him. That should count for something, huh?
Well, in a way, I kind of hope it might help the place. To tell you the truth, I was about to fold and sell it anyway. But maybe if I have a fairy person, maybe they might give me a trick up my sleeve. And maybe it'll keep other fairies out of here.
All right, Bishaw puts him down.
Can you do that? I'll
You bet ya!
that's all I ask.
And he hops up onto the table and he sprinkles something into the ale, and you can tell that it turns a dark amber.
sniff it. It smells like
And then he
ale,
disappears.
not water.
Yeah, you smell of it, and it smells of ale.
I'm gonna take it and drink it.
It's one of the most refreshing ales you've ever tasted. That's where we'll stop tonight.